Next year is going to be different, and I'm planning another biggie. 6 weeks, 3,500 Ks, and I want you to come along from now. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, previously, we let you know that we're off on a big, an epic next year, 3,500 Ks, 6 weeks or so. Now it's taken a lot of logistics. Now we have e-bikes, so we had a lot of thoughts about how we were going to do things with the bikes and such like. Now, just going back in a bit of history, previously, probably going back about 10 years ago, I did have a normal bike, or say a normal bike, a traditional bike, and I had it stored in the UK. And when I went back to the UK from Australia just to visit friends and family, and I wanted a tour, I used to get the bike shipped from the storage to where I live, mainly which is on the south. It was on the south coast of England, and it was all set up, just all ready to go. And I would hop on it and do 10 days, 2 week cycle tours in northern France. So that's a bit of history with regards to the bikes that I've used previously. Now, obviously, now I've got e-bikes and they're a bit more trickier. So in this video, we're just going to run through what we're going to do, what we've come up with, what the challenges were, and what the thought process was. So as normal, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to get updated with the next episode. Now, here we go. Okay guys, so what are our options? Now, option one was that we would ship our bikes to France by sea, bikes and batteries. Now, option two would be that we would buy batteries in France. Now, our bikes are Giants, so basically we would buy our batteries from a Giant shop in France, leave them there or have them there ready for us when we arrive. And option three would be to buy bikes over there. Now, a few options. We had to mull it over for quite a while. Now, pros and cons. Now, option one, firstly, shipping our bikes from Australia to France. The pros were our own bikes were going to be there. They were already set up. All the racks and everything were on them, and so it was bikes that we were used to. Now, the cons to that was the expense. It was going to cost obviously a bit of expense to ship the bikes there, the time to take to ship the bikes there, and then one of the other things that we also really needed to think about was the possibility of having to pay tax on the bikes when they got there. Now, I have done this before with my e-bike. I have shipped it to Europe previously and did have to pay tax both going to Europe and coming back from Europe. So that was quite a big thing that we needed to think about. Now, option two, buying batteries for the bikes over in France. Now, the pros to this were basically we'd only have to worry about shipping our bikes, so we could put them on the plane. Again, it was our own bikes. We were used to the bikes, all set up, ready to go. Now, the cons to that were slightly more expensive. Obviously, we would need to buy a set of batteries each, and the possibility that when we got there, that they, because of things like translation and such like, different bike models between different countries were, so there was a possibility that we could get there and we actually had ordered the wrong batteries. So that was quite a big drawback to it. And the other drawback was we're also carrying the bikes on the plane. So any damage that might be caused that way, and obviously the excess baggage and all that sort of stuff. Now, option three. Basically buying the bikes over there. And the pros to this were we were going to have brand new bikes there ready waiting for us. A second thing was we didn't have to go through necessarily the anxiety of getting our bikes on a plane, getting the batteries there and all that messing around. So basically all we would have to do is just carry our luggage and our cycling equipment that we were going to take on the trip. Brand new bikes, reliable, had a warranty, and we would choose a supplier that had a good supply network throughout Europe. Now the cons to this were obviously quite a fair bit more of expense. The bikes wouldn't be set up, so they'd have racks on them, but they wouldn't have things like bottle cages and such like. So we would need to set that up in the day or so after we arrived in France. Now we shortlisted these options to one of two options. Now the first one was to buy batteries over there and put our bikes on the plane. And the second option was to actually physically buy the bikes over there. Now, what we were going to do in both options was after we'd finished the trip, we'd basically find storage, and then we would store a lot of our equipment, obviously the bikes stroke batteries, put those in storage and save them there again for the following year. We've got quite a few trips planned over the next few years, and we just figured that any investment either in batteries or new bikes would go a great way towards that. Now I'm just going to show you the communications that we had. Basically we have giant bikes here, so we looked at a number of different brands of bikes. However, we decided to stick with Giant, and either way, whether it was either the batteries or the bikes, stick with the brand Giant, and we decided that we would just liaise with the Giant shop in Lyon. And I'm just going to run through a few of the emails that I had with them. Now, I must like to state again that we're not sponsored by Giant. That we've paid for these bikes, and we will be paying for all our equipment. There was no sponsorship. So these are the few emails that we had with the Giant shop in Lyon. So we made the decision that we were going to buy batteries in Lyon in France and take the bikes with us on the plane. Now this led to a couple of problems. So the first problem that we had was obviously because we had Australian bikes and Australian frame numbers. The French bike shop, the French Giant shop, couldn't look our frame numbers up to make sure that they got the correct numbers, the correct battery types. Now the second issue was the actual cost of the batteries, and it was going to work out a lot cheaper to actually buy bikes over in France. Now these are a couple of examples of the emails I sent, one in French and one using Google Translate in English, and this is how things started. Now these are the two bikes we've ordered. Basically they are exactly the same as what we have in Australia, just obviously newer versions, and they're the Giant Explorer Plus 3 GTS and the Explorer Plus 3 STA, which is basically the female version with the step through. More or less exactly the same as what we have in Australia, come fitted with racks, lights, etc. Obviously we will then customize it to our own needs. Now we've come to an arrangement with the Giant shop. We paid the deposit, ordered the bikes, and they're gonna, when the bikes arrive, they're gonna keep the bikes until we give them the nod and we arrive in France, which is more or less exactly a year to the day. So we're very excited with these bikes. Obviously, like I say, we're going to customize them with our own bottle racks, maybe front racks and handlebar bags and such like. So very excited. Now guys, that concludes this this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Things are coming together really nicely. Please like and subscribe. It's great, it helps us support this channel. And we will see you in the next video. Now this next video is potentially going to save you thousands of dollars, and I'm going to show you how I get maps for my Garmin GPS. Obviously, we're going through quite a few countries, 9 or 10 countries, and we're going to need maps for each country. And I'm going to show you how to get them for free. So we'll see you in the next one.